And hello, everybody. This is Nick McPhee. This is Edited by Coding. It's 2 o'clock where I live. It's probably some other time where you live. Returning after 3 weeks that I've been away. Missed the last 2 weekends because of the end of the semester and the huge pile of grading and graduation and all that stuff. And I'm done. Yay! And that means I don't teach another class until January of 2026 because of phased retirement. So I will not be teaching for a while, which has all kinds of consequences. I'm doing a lot of thinking. But I will try not to tie up today's stream with the thinking. Hello, Vincent. Hello, Zitsu. And hello, Justus. As actually the three people that I've just mentioned know because I've seen you on Discord. I have been doing a lot of thinking. I've been trying to say stuff on Discord about my thinking. There's more thinking to be done. But I don't want to get tied up in that during today's stream. I think just like writing some code seems like a thing. Oh no, I'll definitely come back to Discord. I just not clear that like I think actually it's probably better to talk about a lot of this on Discord because I think it's easier to have a conversation. It's so asymmetrical streaming. Like I can just talk and talk and talk. Like there's all this bandwidth from me to you, and there's so little bandwidth back. And I think on Discord we're all on the same playing field, and so I think that which I totally need to look at. And which I wouldn't want you to try to repeat here in chat. I mean, I don't think that's actually very sensible. So I think let's do the big stuff. At least start it over on Discord. We can obviously, if there are going to be changes, that'll be announced here. Like if there's going to be more streams at different times, streams on different subjects, yada yada yada. All of that we can talk about, but. Let's do a lot of the planning, I think, on Discord, and we'll save this for stuff that where the asymmetry in the communication channel, I think, is less problematic. Okay. Hi. I haven't done this in a while. I feel very rusty. I'll be here all week. Please tip your wait staff. So I wasn't really sure what to do today. I do actually like doing the puzzle problems, especially when they're not just endless parsing problems like has happened in some cases. Advent of parsing comes to mind. We had started the Everybody Codes thing, and we had done, and apparently they've announced that when their next thing is going to be, let's see, is that under events? Yeah, so there will be, so we're doing the Kingdom of Algorithmia. The Song of Ducks and Dragons will come out in 170 days, the beginning of November, which I thought was odd. And it's a little weird to have it so close to Advent of Code coming out the beginning of December. I would have thought maybe you'd sort of try to be like 6 months apart, but I don't know. It's a thing. So we had started we'd done all of Quest 1. We'd done the first 2/3 of Quest 2. I figure let's actually try to finish the third part of Quest 3. I'm a little annoyed by it, but I'd like to see what Quest 3 looks like. And then maybe after Quest 3, we decide whether we continue doing this or not. I don't know. So it could be that they're just trying to like stack up in front of Advent of Code, but I don't know. It does seem weird to me. as a set of dates go, I like it better than Advent of Codes dates. I mean, I understand the whole Advent thing, and it makes sense to have it be in December. But if you have stuff happening around the winter holidays, it's a very awkward time if you're trying to like do it every day and keep up. Certainly, it was an impossible problem as a faculty member trying to finish up the semester. But I won't be teaching this fall, so that won't be a problem. Yay! As I keep just repeating the fact that I'm not teaching this fall. Um, Very cool. Very cool. Power over Ethernet. Very cool. So we had gotten this far. So let's back up to the beginning of the problem. Part one, we had, so all of them, we've got a string and a set of words, and we're trying to do matching against the set of words. The first one, we just had to count the number of words that matched, all the words that matched somewhere in the string, and we had to handle overlapping. Actually, did we need to care about that? I think we did. So we got that. That was all fine. Then we had a more complicated, maybe this is where the overlapping came in. We get words. Now the string goes across multiple lines, and the inscriptions can be read from left to right or right to left. So we have to search in both directions. So we just basically made the string and reversed it and did the counting. The other thing that was different here is that you were counting the number of symbols that matched, not the number of matching words. And then they, made it more complicated because that's what you do. Now we've got these tiles, and the idea is these things wrap around. So here T, H, E matches the. So we have wrapping, and we're matching both left, right, and up, down. Where does it say that? Match horizontally and vertically. So we need to find all the words and count the number of scales that compose them. And so each scale is a letter, essentially. And so we need to keep track, like on part two, of which letters we've used somewhere. Which I think that this is probably, I'm a little worried this is going to be more tedious than interesting. I mean, to be honest about it. And there was part of me that wanted to just skip. But, well, actually, hang on. Can I move on to quest 3? I can. So we could just move on to quest 3. Can we look at all of the quests? Quest 4. Oh, really? So we can look at least the first part of every quest. And look, much gridness. This is always the problem with these things, is there tends to be a ton of grid stuff. Yeah, more grid. So at least from a completely not random sample of a handful of part ones, lots of grids. Oh, this one's a little more like a tree. So that one might be a little different, but there's a lot of grid action. Do I care about grid? I have never been all that interested in LeetCode. I mean, I've done some. Have an account, LeetCode. No. Hello. LeetCode. Oh, yeah. I just have a big splash page that confused me. Um, so certainly we could do stuff like this. Code Wars is another that, oh, again, everybody's like trying to get fancy on me. Code Wars, a lot of problems. If you want to be very mathy, Project Euler, I think, is cool, but their problems are often much more math oriented. One thing that I really like about both Advent of Code and Everybody Codes that's distinct from, say, Code Wars or Leak Code is they're language agnostic. So I could do this in a spreadsheet if I wanted to. I mean, I don't really want to, but if I did, I could do it in a spreadsheet. And I think it's sort of interesting to have projects that don't tie to a particular language. Yeah, thank you. No, I don't. I mean, I did do an Advent of Code problem in a spreadsheet. So, Codyssi, I don't know that one. Codessi. Oh. And this begins on it began on the 17th of March. The Journey to Atlantis. Coding competition. It's a competition development platform. Plainly copy pasting. So do you, in Codyssi, do you actually submit just the answer, or do you actually paste in code? Because they talk about copy paste just the answer. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a possibility. So Justus, what's your suggestion? I'm open to ideas. Challenges. Oh yeah, let's. If we go to Journey to Atlantis, okay, they've got 3 parts. Difficulty rating. So yeah, it does look similar. I would just have to create an account, and we could try this out. And there's not a grid. That's a thing. So that would be a possibility. So let's see. Let's look at Justus's idea. More low-level Rust. I think that's probably not me. I mean, it's clearly interesting in an abstract sense, and there are people for whom that would probably be very interesting. But that's not really my thing. And I'm not likely to do programming that cares about like low-level memory manipulation. I'm much more likely to do programming sort of at a higher level. So I think if I was still going to be teaching, and I thought I might teach more Rust, I mean, I will be teaching for 3 more semesters, but it's probably unlikely that I teach a Rust class again, just because of the things the discipline needs from me. And so if I thought I was going to be doing more of that kind of work, then teaching myself what that looks like so that I could share it with the students would be cool. So it's an interesting idea, but I just don't think it's me. I think it would be doing it because it would be useful for my job and not because I cared. Whereas I just like programming puzzles. Right? I mean, that makes me happy. And so, I very much appreciate the suggestion. I just don't think it's my gig. So, um, I mean, let's give this thing a try, because why not? Um, so I'm gonna quick zip over here. Um, we'll see what this is like. See, I need to account. Boo, boo, boo. Don't mind me while I. Oh, interesting. So you have to log in through Google. And let's just do that for now. I'm having this. One of the consequences of moving to retirement is I'm having to think about questions of accounts to use, and do I use the university account, or do I begin to migrate away from it? And ultimately, I'll have to migrate away from things. So yeah, I mean, I think like Rust compiler internals interest me in an abstract sense, but again, if I wasn't going to have to like teach it, I'm glad other people do that work, and I'm happy to have them do it, but I don't need to do it. So, you know, so there's a lot of things that I'm conceptually interested in, but don't really want to get too deep into necessarily. Okay, so I'm going to actually make this a little bigger. I am still wearing 4-year-old glasses because I broke my nice glasses because I sat on them a month ago, but I have new glasses coming next week. But one thing I find is that reading screens is actually kind of annoying, and I'm not very good at it with these glasses. And that was certainly awkward during all the grading that had to happen, because man, I looked at a lot of essays and code on screens for a week and a half. So, bleh. So following analysis of the data from the drones surveying the Atlantic Ocean, your lab is confident that they've located the fabled city of Atlantis. Your team has been handpicked for this once-in-a-lifetime research mission. What an honor! Over the course of the trip, you know you'll be facing a host of natural and supernatural threats. Luckily, your trusty laptop is waterproof, so you should be fine. Probably. Soon enough, you and your team find yourselves in a sturdy land vehicle built for all-terrain travel, which will autonomously drive to the beach. Great. There's just one small issue. The autonomous vehicle isn't driving itself. Look, it's the navigation module. It must be faulty. Excellent. That's not a hard fix. You just have to recalibrate the vehicle's compass. You start the calibration diagnostic. 600 numbers and a long sequence of symbols appear on the monitor. Each number represents a reading in milliradians. Ugh. So that would be 1,000th of a radian. The first number in the file represents the initial compass offset. However, this isn't the actual compass offset. The following numbers represent the magnitude sizes of the corrections to the initial compass offset. So the second number corresponds to the first correction, third number corresponds to the second correction, and so on. The sequence of symbols is 599 characters in length, so one per correction. And consists of plus or minus, representing the sign of each correction. The first symbol corresponds to the first. Yeah, okay. The vehicle's actual compass offset, measured in milliradians, is calculated by adding all the corrections to the initial offset. So, I mean, their use of the word add here is, I guess, right, but a little potentially confusing. So we start at 8, and so we're going to subtract 1, add 5 twice, subtract 7, add 6 and 5, subtract 4, and add 3 and 1. So this should be pretty straightforward. So we can do that. And actually, the fact that it was milliradians is completely unimportant. They're all in the same units, and so it doesn't really matter what those units are. These could be in codswallops for all we care about. Um, sounds like an iterator zip job. Yes, right. So we could, if we have an iterator over the corrections and an iterator over the signs, we can zip those together to create the signed corrections, sum those up, and then add that to the initial thing. So, so, so I just saw your comment about the code problems can become a bit repetitive. Um, I am open to other things. Um, and, I mean, there are other things I would like to do. So let me back up a second. This is not. I had said in response to Vincent's question at the beginning, like, am I just going to ignore all this and the big questions? So I don't want to get too deep in the weeds right now, but I think there are large scale questions about what the stream is for now that I am not teaching. And there are projects that, actually, the idea of adding a plus at the front and then not treating the first one special. Well, I like that idea. That's good. There are things that I want to work on in phase retirement that could be things that connect to the stream. But again, I want to talk more probably on Discord about this. But there are, I mean, part of me would like to maybe learn Manum for the purpose of making some videos, like scripted videos for YouTube, as opposed to just me babbling on for 2 hours here. Because I think there's some things that I could do there that would be useful to people. And I have thought about learning Manum for a long time, and I've just never gotten around to it. That could be a thing. So could do that. I am interested in possibly setting up a blog / newsletter thing. And I've played with various static site generators at various times and never sort of actually got something up and running that I used. And maybe it would be a good time to do that. So sort of figuring out how to use, like Zola is a Rust-based one, but there's Python and Go-based such things. And Jekyll is the sort of the grandfather of that crowd, written in Ruby. So picking one of those and actually like setting something up and deploying it and doing all the fun stuff would be a thing. There could be potentially stream related things there. There could just be like writing content could be a thing that happens here. Open sourcing the home CMS by Faster Than Lime. Copy. My ridiculous overly over-engineered Rust and TypeScript website. So this is actually probably this looks like overkill to me, to be honest with you, but it'd be worth looking into. I mean, a simple static site generator, I think, would be more than sufficient for what I want to do. But hey, this could be a thing. So I'll have a look at this and I'll report back. So there are things. So it doesn't have to be puzzles, but I actually like doing puzzles. So, I could imagine sort of continuing to have some streaming time. And again, when streams happen is now much more flexible than it used to be. And I could say, well, we'll do the puzzle stuff on Tuesday evenings or something. And then, right now I've been sort of stuck doing weekends because of school, but I'm not stuck doing weekends, so I could do some other times of the day. I'll bring that stuff up in Discord, and we'll see where we go. Okay, so what do I want to do? I'll be just bad. Actually, I think Justus, you'll find this interesting. I used New Shell for something fun the other day. I had a problem to solve, and I was like, I bet New Shell would be good for this. And it took me way longer to do it with New Shell than it would have taken me any other way, because I had to learn all the New Shell pieces to make it work. But once I got it working, it was actually really nice. It was a nice, simple solution. And I could totally see how, for certain things, New Shell would be really slick. I don't know that I would want to use it as my primary shell yet. I actually quite like fish. But for that one project, New Shell turned out to be a great tool for the job. So I was very happy. We'll have to, I'll have to think about that. Okay, so actually I can go year of programming. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And what are we doing? This is called Code. How do they pronounce that? Yao Russo? Actually, I'm totally butchering your name, I'm sure. Apologies. Do you have any idea how they pronounce this name? Codyssi? Oh, Codyssi. That would make sense. Like Odyssey, but code. So Codyssi is a plausible option. So Codyssi. Do I want to make a separate one? Nah, probably not. In which case, so what did I do there? No, so I could just cargo init Codyssi. Boom. Codyssi da 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 code dot. Yes, I trust myself. Zippity doo dah. Okay. Yeah, Zoxide, when I remember to use it, Zoxide's very nice. It's less useful in the context of, if you're using fish does a lot of the nice things that Zoxides does about remembering. So it remembers a lot of directories, and so I often don't need Zoxide, but Zoxide's useful if I'm going someplace I haven't been in a while, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll figure that out. So like right there, it worked very nicely. Okay, so we have, back up. So we have this. Oh, come on, really? Oh, come on, triple click doesn't work? That's annoying. Yeah, so that's a fair point, is that Zoxide, like with many of these tools, becomes more useful if you use them more, which is also true in fish. I mean, fish remembers stuff that you do, and the more of it you use, the better in that regard. Okay, so what? Forget. You'd think I would remember this stuff, but how did I structure this? So we have bin, and we have inputs. That's right. I have too many tabs open and need to fix that. Bin, and come on, new folder, inputs. And so this is input one new file. What am I doing here? What is this file called? I don't actually remember what I would want to call it. This would be a test input. What do they call their things here? Part one. Okay. So it's part one of this particular challenge, which is the Atlantis challenge, right? Okay. Oh, it's actually compass calibration, part one. Do they number them? Challenges. They do not. They just, oh yeah, problem one, problem two. Okay. So I think I'll just say problem one. Problem one, part one, test input. Problem one, part one, test. Boop. And then we'll also need, oops, problem one, part one, txt for the actual test, which is going to be here. Copy all that and paste all that in. There we go. So we got, as I said, 600 thingies and a line with 500, yeah, 600. So, okay, cool. Although I must say that using Arc has radically improved my browser tab situation. Not that I have migrated that over to the streaming. I'm still using Firefox on the streaming, but I use Arc for most of my stuff, and it has taken me from a billion windows and a billion tabs to a much more rational universe. It has been hugely useful. I actually have been quite happy with Arc. And if there were shady things, I was unaware of it. So if you got a link to something, I would certainly like to know, but that has not been something I've been aware of. So new file, problem one, part one.rs. I mean, another thing that could happen in the stream, and this is something, when I started Advent of Code, I started doing this, and then I just got into the Rust side of it and stopped. I was actually doing every problem both in Clojure and Rust because I wanted to compare sort of both the problem solving and the performance on both sides of the fence there. And I only I think I only did like the first 5 problems both ways. It was slow doing it that way. And if it feels repetitious to see, just more coding puzzles, seeing everyone solved twice, I think some people found that to be a lot. It would be kind of interesting to do puzzles in like a whole group of languages and compare sort of how one might solve problems in different languages. But that would be pretty time consuming and might be, how fun that would be would probably to watch would probably vary a lot on the language. So I don't know that that's a place to go quite yet, but fun main, print line, bang, hello world. Make sure I have everything set up and stuff works. Run, yay, okay. And CFG test, mod test, do test, fun, test input, doodly-doo. Now I don't remember. It's a good thing that I have. Everybody codes. What is the, oh, it's include stir. That's how we read things. In fact, I am going to make this bigger. Oh, stop it. So inputs, problem one, problem one, part one, test.txt. And then what are we computing? We are making that go away. We're computing a compass offset. Yeah. So, really, compass offset. I'm thinking I'm just going to make a function here. This is so simple that having a bunch of data structures and stuff probably isn't really worth the hassle. Well, it's not hassle, but I don't think it's worth, I don't think it buys us anything. So here, the actual compass offset would be 21. So that gives us a test. That ought to work. Yeah, so they're doing this DIA thing. So it's not. I don't think it's meant to be an enterprise something. So their new browser, which is now available, you can beta it if you have a .edu account, and you can get in the queue to beta it even if you don't. So I could actually get, because it's meant for students, but they don't actually, since all they do is check that you have a .edu account. I could do it because I have a .edu account. I just haven't bothered because I didn't want to get distracted by it. But their intent is to sort of build AI tools into the browser in a way that actually sounds kind of interesting or terrifying, depending on how you feel about the whole AI thing, right? But I think it's an interesting idea. I think that they are doing security updates at a minimum, and they are doing some bug fixes on Arc. There have been new versions have been coming out every week or two. Some of which is just updating Chromium, which is what they're using under the hood. But they have actually been fixing some bugs. I've never noticed it to be a memory hog, but I'm willing to believe that could be true. I have never tried using Zen, so I should try using Zen. I think Zen would be an interesting thing to try. And see if it gives me the advantages that I find that Arc provides. But I've never used Zen, so I don't know. So, but I have found that using Arc has dramatically improved my window and tab explosion problem. So I've been very happy with that. So fun, compute offset, and the input is going to be a string slice, and we're going to return a I don't know. Guess it could be negative. So probably like, I don't know, an I32. None of the numbers are bigger than a single digit. So yes, I32 is almost certainly overkill. To do bang. Da, 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 da. And oh yeah, we have to import that. Import. Actually, we could change that to super. Would probably make more sense there. And we can run the test, and the test will fail. Yay! The test fails successfully. Well, I should definitely look into Zen then, because I do like supporting Firefox. I'm definitely a fan of trying to keep Firefox alive in the world. And so if Zen gives me a lot of the same ideas, then I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll give it a shot. Okay. Okay, so we've got our input and we've got our test, and we should try to make this work. So I think the idea of, let's see. Thank you. So if lines is double-ended, I can grab the bottom and that would take it off. Okay, so let lines be input.lines. So then I could do like let last line, or let signs be lines dot last. Yeah, nice. And now that returns it consumes the iterator. Last is not a good choice, actually, because I don't want to consume the iterator. Next back. Okay, so next would give you the next thing going forward. Oh, I need to make that mutable. Sure, fine. Next back starts at the other end and comes forward. Removes and returns an element from the end. So then what's left of lines would be the remaining lines, which is great. That actually gives us the iterator we want over the values. We have to care about the fact that it returns an option because there could be no more elements. Actually, would it make, rather than, I wonder if just trim would take care of it, to make sure we don't have any white space at the ends. And then we don't have to worry about empty lines because there shouldn't be any. But it's probably good to do something, either filtering or trimming. I mean, actually, I'm inclined to, the input was empty. I mean, we could get all fancy with error handling, but if this fails, it's because the input's broken somehow. So I'm probably happy just dying here. We could get into error handling, but yeah. So then, we want to add. Oh no, we're gonna have to split that. Lines, filter, yeah. So anything that's just all ASCII white space. You would just return 0. Oh. Well, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's so the option idea I kind of like. I mean, normally, do I like that? Oh, and then this would have to be, we'd have to unwrap here. The other option is having it return a 0. Could be kind of useful, perhaps. Well, let's leave it like this for now. So then lines is going to give us the iterator we want, the first of the two iterators we want. And we need to make, so this actually signs string. So then signs is going to be signs string dot chars. Boom. And that, right. If I use option, then the unwrapper default lets somebody else make the decision about what that means. So that is probably more useful. So then signs is an iterator now. And so I should be able to, but I need to stick, now chain, does chain, no, if I use chain here, I'm going to get the thing I want is going to end up at the end. And I need it to be at the beginning. So I need once plus dot chain that, I think. Didn't know. Do I have to import something? I do. Yeah. Okay. So I need to say I want a plus followed by all of these guys. So this is probably worth documenting. The once call inserts a plus at the start of the iterator over the sign symbols. This allows us to not treat the first number in lines, especially we just treat it as a positive value and multiply it in, or add it in. And then the other thing is, where is the parsing going to happen? Because we're going to have some more error handling to deal with because the parsing could fail. And this is where having something like anyhow might be simplest. Because I think I want to actually say let values be lines dot map s, s.parse. And this is where, oh no, but I wouldn't be able to, oh, we could, yeah, we could map the signs as well. That's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Because now here, what I want to collect is a result of a vec. And if I just do that, oh, I could turn all the results into options and then just use my option thing. And then I would just be able to question mark here. I'm missing colons. That's why this is acting very weird. And it doesn't know what I'm parsing into. Yeah, actually, I mean, it's not awesome in some ways, but it is okay. And then this would be option vec of, like I say, I32. And oh, go away, Siri. I would have thought this would have gotten me. Thank you. Okay, and so then if I question mark out here, then I have a vector of I32s. Cool. So then here, if I call that sign chars and let signs be sign chars dot map, yeah, basically. But I'm going to need to. Is there going to be an easy way to turn the plus and the minus? That's what I was just thinking, is a match might just be the simplest thing. Plus 1 minus 1, otherwise. If I made these an option, yes. Right. So if I make these options, then I can question mark at the other end. So we get all of that. Do I have any? Okay. And that closes the map. And then collect option vec I32 question mark semicolon. Haha! Very nice. So we're saying if C is a plus, we'll give a 1. If it's a minus, we'll give a -1. And an underscore, and we'll have the none. Oh, right. The collects are, I didn't want to do the collects because I just wanted to keep it as, the point was to have these as iterators. I'm not sure I know what process results is. I feel like we've talked about process results. Docs.rs. Is that a standard thing? or I meant to do slash stud process results. Oh, it's an itertool thing. Aha. I think we've used it. See, this is why other people are better programmers than me, because they actually remember this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, I dimly remember having seen that. So process results takes an iterator over some kind of item, over result types, and a function that maps across what's in those results. Gotcha. And then we have to turn all the options into to results to use this. It would be nice to not collect. Like, the whole nice thing about the zip is we don't have to sort of allocate new vectors. Let's maybe finish this and then come back to that. But I do think I would like to come back to that, because I think sort of collecting the vectors here is kind of annoying. So now we have two vectors of numbers. Exactly. Get it to work and then make it tidy. So now we should be able to zip. Let result be values dot zip. Iter dot zip. Signs dot iter. Dot map. XY. What else call it? I probably wanted to put the signs first. Thinking about this a little bit. Oh, yeah, and I should use into's iter. The zip will convert this into an iterator for me. Gotcha. So signs dot into iter, because I don't need to keep it anymore. Zip values map sign and value. Oops, a pair sign and value. S times V dot sum. And then return. In fact, let's just lose the let result and lose the to do. Boom. And why did I get an option somewhere? Why did I get an option somewhere? Oh, that's because I need a okay. No, a sum, or it's a sum. I need a sum around this. Woo! There we go. Right. I could have used dot sum, and VS Code would have helped me out. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. That's a thing I need to practice to make sure I'm getting better at. Okay. So, fingers crossed that actually works. And that's not too icky. Hey, we passed the test. So let's try to clean this up. And actually, this was kind of nice, right? We didn't spend a lot of time faffing around with grids. I think it's an interesting use of iterators. nothing profound, but it's a nice use of iterators. Um, and it's good practicing like once and chain. Um, yeah, it is. It is a lot of parsing. That's probably an unavoidable reality of these kinds of problems. Is that you end up with a lot of parsing. Um, yeah, I think that's a hard problem to avoid. Yeah, so like the non-parsing part is basically this line here, and everything else here is essentially parsing. So yeah, that's a lot of parsing. Oh, I should actually probably commit. That would be useful. Oh, yeah, right. Um, yeah, do the giddy things. Let's start by doing all the setupy stuff, which I didn't. See, sure, we'll keep that. And okay, so initial commit, boom, boom, and then we'll add these guys. Add test in or add inputs for problem 1, part 1, and then solve problem 1, part 1. It is, but you know, I'm not sure. Like, if you haven't done anything interesting, I don't know what to say there. And if all you, I mean, you could say this initial repository was created by Cargo init. Maybe that tells somebody something down the road. I don't know, but it's not obvious that there's something. If anybody knows of something clever to do there, one could share. But yeah, I guess sort of making it clear that it's a Rust structure might be useful. Yeah. Okay, so now let us. It could become your life journal. You could scatter your life journal across your initial commits on all of your projects. And as long as you have a lot of very small projects, so there's a lot of initial commits, there'd be enough information that people could reconstruct something useful. On the other hand, now an option, and it isn't a very pretty option. I don't think it's where we really want to go in some sense. But an option would be to skip all the error handling and skip all the error handling, but skip all the collecting, and have the zip actually take options of things instead of. I have no idea. That's been there for the entire stream. And I do not have a clue why that's there. We could basically, if we comment this out and we comment this out, and then we zip, we get two options over I32s. And here we got a problem. Yeah, because I can't put a question mark here, which would be, I think, what I want to do, but yeah, that's too bad. Because if you could just question mark out of the closure, and I understand why you can't, but if you could question mark out of the closure, then this would be not unreasonable. But yes, you probably have to do the process results as a consequence. Um, so that you can have the question mark happen here before the dot. Hmm. Hmm. So it looks like maybe Vincent has figured out the banana peel. I'm guessing. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. It takes a village. Um, I think process results is probably the right thing to do. I think let's do that. Cargo add itertools. Um, well, I thought about implementing a process options. Um, uh, because that wouldn't be super hard. Um, and it might be kind of yeah. I mean, might be sort of fun. So what's the where was I? Here we go. So process results takes the iterator of results, and then it gives you an iterator over the OK values, which you can then do iteratory stuff with. Um, and so we would basically want the item would be a option type instead of a result type. And we would get back an option type. We would not need the error type. We would need the R type for the result of applying the function, and the T type, which would be the input type for the function, and the F type is this guy here. Yeah, let's try that. That might be kind of fun. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal this signature here. Boom. Boom. Bang. And I want to change it to process options. And we don't need the error type. and we're going to return an option of type R. And self is going to be an iterator over option. So why do we need the sized? Oh, this is a trait object thing. Yeah, I think that's actually a great idea. I'm sure that the compiler will yell at us when the time comes. Oh, we've got a whole type here that we need. And I don't want process results. I want process options. Options that's going to take. Yeah. Okay. So that got rid of all the E's. Now self is this was assuming that this is this is being implemented on some type, so self makes sense, and we don't want so this has to be in some impl block for some type. So trait what I kind of wanted to call it was process options, but we're going to use that for the argument. Yeah. Okay. Just because it's a silly name. And then this is going to be in yeah, and then we're going to have process options, which is, what does that do over here? It's the iterator over the result, over the inputs, right? An iterator that produces only the t values as long as we keep let's hope it's less than 100 lines long. So as long as the iterator produces okay. So what is if the original iterable produces an error, the adapted iterator ends and returns that error. Gotcha. So if we so this thing is going to need to be an iterator over the input options. And it's a struct. So we're going to need struct process options blah. But needs a lifetime. And it needs a type self is going to be and S is probably grumpy. It's not ever used either. So S is going to need to be is an iterator over item option T. Which means we're going to need T as well. Right. That would be in the impl block, not here. Yes. Good catch. Thank you. So what is this going to store? Is it just storing an iterator? Oh, yes. Right. I won't need T. Is this just going to be the iterator itself, or are we actually building the whole iterator? Because we know self is or implements iterator. So this implements an iterator. Tip, mute ref to iterator ampersand if we encounter a none yet. The struct has two fields. Size of twice usize and an alignment of a line of usize. So we've got a pair of pointers references. And the if we have encountered a none yet. So I was right. We need a reference to the underlying iterator, which is going to be S. So internal iterator of type S. Referenced S? S. And a flag. Found none. Bool. and you don't like S as a name, S is going to be the option iterator. Or something like that. Oh, but then where does the lifetime come in? If I don't have some additional expectations, oh, so that's a mutable reference to a Boolean. And it's a mutable reference. I understand why it needs to mutate. Why is it a reference? Impl iterator item. We want to know the result in process option function, and we can't return it. I'll think about that. Let's see if we can okay, so I'm going to need a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm going to need so I'm iterating over items that are option T for this, that. Except not happy. Oh, I can't do. Do I need a whole nother thing here? And then I would put T. So I bring T back. Oh, hello. Where option iterator is iterator item equals T. Aha. And then this is probably not actually T here because my process options, when we iterate over it, we're going to get oh, it's an option iterator? Oh. Oh, it's an iterator of options of t. Right. Right. Because we have to be able to return some, not some. Yeah, some or none. So we have a way of and then this process options iterator does return t's though. I think that's true. Actually, I really like the idea of writing a test case. I totally should do that. Okay, so we want, actually, if we look back over here and we think about just stealing some of this stuff, oh, there we go. That'd work too. Sum of options. Boom, bop. I'll steal your example. Okay, so we're going to have an array of options. We're going to call process options. That'll be the inner value, or actually, that's the iterator over the values. And we will then double them and add them up. Sum of doubled options. So let result be that. And then assert eq bang. Result would be 1, 5, 10, 16, 32. Boom. Into iter. Okay. And let's also have a test where we have a none. Array has none. And so we basically want this, but I want to stick a none in here. And all of that will be the same. We don't want to unwrap. And we want to assert that result is none. Gotcha. And so we haven't implemented process options on an array yet. And that's where this trait kicks in, right? So we'll have to impl nicer tools for t where t has to be has to impl iterator over, actually t is probably a bad choice, for I, where I is an iterator over oh, it's just I is iterator. And then we don't need t. So this is the trait bound where I was saying it was an iterator over a particular thing. I was trying to put that up here, but it's in the function. Gotcha. I see that now. Right. I was thinking it was up here, but actually it's in the function specification. So, now why is that not? Oh, it's an import problem. Aha. Import nicer tools. Gotcha. We could probably also make that super. Super. Boom, boom, boom. And type annotations needed. Cannot satisfy some. Oh, the unwrap has to be before the sum. No? No. No, that's all inside there. So that shouldn't be. Oh, it just doesn't even know what the type of result is. Oh. Couldn't infer that from all of this because it could have been any of several numeric types, and so it didn't know what to do. Enforcing the matter fixed the problem. Okay, so now we have some tests that no doubt fail because we have lots of unimplemented stuff. Whoa, we still couldn't infer something? All kinds of. Wonder. Oh, I've got this stuff in here still. Wonder if is that an issue? Yes, that is definitely an issue. Because I'd made these changes here. Let me actually put these back so we're not getting confusion about semicolon, and there'll be a semicolon here. Okay, so now this test should we still don't compile. We said the same type difference issue. So option I32. Gotcha. Now this test will succeed and this test will fail because we have got not yet implemented. Good. Okay. That all makes sense. And in fact, this should just go away because it is down below. Okay. And much shouting. So we have to implement iterator for process options. So we have to implement our next, which is just going to be mostly calling the internal iterator as long as this isn't true. And then this needs to be finished. So let's do this part first. So this, I think, is pretty straightforward. If we if found none, then we want to return none. Else, we want to return internal self.internal iterator. Oh, so you were trying to do the right thing and I ran away from you. Dot next. But no, because we have to. Oh, it's self.found none. Or what? Hello. Oh, I need to deref it. Yeah, if I'd looked at the error message. We're going to have to actually check this and update found none before we return it. We were expected an option T and found an option T. What? Okay. We're going to have to capture this anyway. Whoa. That's too many options. Oh, no, it's not. Because next returns an option of whatever our item type is, and our item type is an option. So that is actually totally reasonable. Okay. And yes, I think match seems like a reasonable choice. And we probably want to inline n in a little bit, but give me the things. So if we get none, we want to return none. Oh, but no, we actually want to set things. Because we need to set self.found none to be true and then return none. And that needs to become a reference. No. That's a this. Yeah. Right. If this was none, we hit the end of the thing, and we don't really have to then do this, do we? We could just return none and not worry about it. Because every other time, next we'll just keep returning none. Oh, well, not necessarily. And so here's where we should have match some none and some of some value. And it's this to do here. Yeah, I know of fused iterators, but I've never, I think, read anything about them. Or certainly nothing is stuck. So here is where we want to set self.found none to be true. And we want to return none. And here we just want to return some v. Now, it's grumpy about this lifetime. So I could just do this. Nope, 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 nope. Didn't like that one. Ah, there we go. Hey! Impl process, an iterator for process options. Now, we have to implement this part. What time is it? Yeah, we might get this done. So process options is going to create because we have to create a capital P process options somewhere, and that presumably happens here. So self is an iterator over options of T. So let found none is going to be false initially. That part's easy. Semicolon. And reference to false? A mutable reference to false? Really? That's weird. I have to think about that for a second. And then internal iterator, that is going to be the iterator over self, right? So we actually do need to have let found none be immutable reference to Boolean that starts out being false. And then this becomes that. Oh, the var, sure, that makes, stop it. The var is just a Boolean that's false. And then this becomes, no. That needs to be mutable. Okay. So we create a local variable that is a mutable Boolean. We pass a mutable reference to that into process options so that it can, so when it's updating here, it's actually updating this variable way back here. And we need something like that because we need to have a place to store the state so that as next is working through, it has a way to remember whether we've seen something yet, and that variable is sort of out here. Okay, this is making my head hurt a lot. And then we call, oh, that isn't the reason for the mute ref. Okay, so I think I want to come back to that. Oh, really? Okay, let's see if we can. So we have our process options And so now we have to apply our function. So process options gives us a iterator over it gives us an iterator of t, and we'll return. So we need to take it and map processor onto all of those things. Oh no, F takes a process options. So processor just takes process options. Oh, because it's somebody outside's going to have to make the decision. Self.processor process options. And that's actually what we return. It's not self.processor. Processor is a function that takes process options and returns. Oh, so it's that. Save it in a variable. Oh, it's not. It's not an option. So did it tell me something useful there? Mismatch type. Expected an option but found an R. Oh, is this why we have to have access to found none? That we have to say if found none, return none, else. Oh no. Hang on. We really do need to keep it as a variable, don't we? Stop it. Let result be that. And then if found none, return none. Because we stumbled across a none somewhere along the way. Otherwise, we return sum of result. And that's why we needed the mute ref, because we need to, at this point, this needs to be able to say, did this ever run across a none? And that's why when you said the thing I tried to do was wrong, where I tried to have set the found none here to be true, that was going to get me in trouble, because that would have made this true when I would have returned none, when I really want to return a result, because this case is just we got to the end safely, processed everybody fine, and we really want to return this, and I would have returned that instead. Yeah. Okay. That's weird. That's some weird side effect action. That is some very strange side effect action. Trait nicer tools is never used. What do you mean? We implemented it right here. So calling, the only uses are in the tests. Sure, if I put something in main, then, So if we put something in main that does this, then, in fact, actually, we could just steal this. For now, boom. Probably wanted to print that instead of print line bang. The final offset was compass offset, period, semicolon. Lose the assert. Yay! Right. So until we use it in compute offset, it's not going to matter. Okay, but we've got 10 minutes. We can do this. So compute offset. Now, we will not collect and then here we're going to, well, actually, am I going to need the sum? Probably not, because I think that's going to happen. And then here's where I'm going to want to say process options. No. Because that's not going to, I'm not going to have options yet. I'm going to have a pair of options. And so this is where I want to say process options. And this is where I'm going to say iterator. What does it look like? So I would just say sum. Sum. Okay. So I have two options. Oh, it doesn't know what the second one is. Oh, sum. No, that doesn't fix my problem. It doesn't know what this is. Oh, because that was specified here in the collect, and the collect isn't there anymore. What do I think is going to be the easiest? I mean, I can just do this. Or not? Really? Oh, it wasn't signs. It's in the parsing, which you said. So it's values, actually. This parse. Yeah. And that's that. Ooh, I did that right the first time. That's so weird. That doesn't happen very often. So we're saying we want to parse into I32s. And now we get here, we have option I32, option I32. The question marks turn them into I32s or return a none. We multiply, we put a sum around it so that we still have an option. So at this point, we should have an iterator over I32s, options of I32s. Process options says add them all up, and voila. So now our test here still passes, and we don't have any noise. And if we run main, we still pass, and we don't have any noise. So in fact, if I take test off of here and run this, it says the minus 210. Really? Maybe. Let's see if that actually looks like that worked. No, we're way back over here, aren't we? No, I'm not in the right place. Oh, we're not even doing this. We're doing this. Minus 210. Submit. Yes! We did it. And with seconds to spare. Now, when you say use strace to verify no allocations, what would that look like? Is that like running something here in the command line, I think? I don't know that I've ever used strace. Just build it. Cargo, build, minus release for fun. And then when you say run it with strace, is this like strace? Oh, I don't know. That doesn't look like I have strace. No. And why do I feel like is this going to be a problem on a Mac? Brew install strace. Awesome. Well, it's wonderful to see you briefly at the very end. Wow, I need to do a little updating. Obviously, the chaos of grading has put me behind on things. Now, did that actually do something? No. Did it error somewhere? Way at the beginning? Yeah, see, I think strace is dtruss on Mac OS. Oh, and I have that. Target, release, problem 1, part 1. Sudo. And I have no idea what that told me. The only system call it made was return, which doesn't seem very likely. I don't know if the system integrity protection means that nothing really useful is happening. I wonder if we build without release, do we get more useful information? Debug. Cease and desist. No. Let's see. Do I have a terminal window? Oh God, look at all those terminal windows. Not good. Do I not actually have unhindered EC? Maybe I don't. That's weird. Dtruss, cargo, build. Oop. Yeah. Oh, stop. Yeah, I think the integrity protection stuff is probably stopping us from getting any useful information. So, but whatever. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, Apple's trying to keep us safe from ourselves and each other. And if there weren't so many bad actors in the world, maybe I'd complain. But there are plenty of bad actors in the world, so sigh. Okay, we did a thing, and that was nice. And part 2, same sort of input. Can we actually look at what's the input look like here? So there's some parsing here, but it doesn't look like super complicated parsing. So yes, we can say no, Alex, because we can read the code. So let's continue with this. Not today. Today, I think we've done our 2 hours, and we'll let everybody go about their happy business. But we'll pick this up. It might be fun. So, what's the battle plan for the moment? So tomorrow, figure out what we're doing with unhindered EC. Oh, I guess it would help if I actually had the tomorrow, Sunday, 18 May, 10 to noon, CDT, UTC minus 5. Oh, no. And then next Saturday, that would be 24 May, 2 to 4 p.m. CDT UTC minus 5. So I'm either going to be streaming from Wisconsin or not streaming. I think I'll probably, depends on what, I'm either driving on streaming. I'm either driving on, actually, when am I driving? Because I think maybe Sunday's the stream that happens anyway. No, Sunday's the stream that wouldn't happen. Oh yeah, so Saturday would happen. So Saturday will happen. But it might happen from here or happen from my sister's. So my sister and I are driving our mother to the National Quilt Museum in Paducah, Kentucky. My mom is a big quilter, and she has never visited the museum, and she can't drive anymore. And so we're going to take her down and spend a couple of days visiting the museum, which should be very nice. And so I will have to drive over to Wisconsin at some point and then spend a little time, and then we'll drive down and do that, and we'll come back. So Saturday, I will be able to stream either from here, because I'm driving on Sunday, or I will stream from Wisconsin. More Codyssi, because that seemed like fun. I like that. And then Sunday, so Sunday, if we want to get into it, the 25 May, 10 to noon, CDT, UTC minus 5, might be driving, or maybe stream from Wisconsin. But we'll figure that out later. So, okay, it'll be fun. And I'll share pictures of the Quilt Museum. I'm sure you'll be very excited. And actually, there's looks like a very cool exhibit in Oshkosh, where my sister and my mother live, of Ho-Chunk basket weaving. Ho-Chunk Nation being one of the indigenous communities in Wisconsin and into parts of Minnesota. And I've seen some pictures and it looks cool. So I think we're going to go with that. Do I drive an EV? No. I wish I did, but I don't. My sister has two, and her husband have two of them. But we have got a traditional gas powered Honda CRV, which has been a very nice car. And at the moment, we don't need to replace it. And the environmental implications of replacing a functioning car with a new car gets complicated. And yes, a 500 horsepower electric Trabant sounds like a blast. So we would like to, but I'm not sure that that's happening right away. And of course, the whole Tesla thing has been super interesting at the moment. Yeah. So right now we're just going to keep driving our car. And actually, if I don't drive very fast, if I keep it to 50 miles an hour, I can get over 40 miles a gallon on the car. That annoys my wife, who doesn't like going that slow, and often passing through lots of little small towns instead of taking. Now, I wouldn't call it quite hypermiling, but it's headed in that direction. If I, keep it slower and I take the back roads, I can average about 40 miles a gallon over long trips. But it does slow things down. Like if one sort of got on the interstate and just went full tilt, one could probably get to Wisconsin, to Oshkosh in 7 hours. And it takes me more like 9 if I putz along on the back roads. So there are consequences, but we'll see how things go. Okay, so I'm going to let you fine people go. You're wonderful human beings. Thank you. Well, certainly can't drive as fast as you can drive, but I could easily be doing 70 miles an hour on the freeway, and that significantly drops my gas mileage. So, 140, no, we can't do that legally here. So, not a thing. Well, thank you all very much. We're going to let you go. We'll talk to you later. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye!